I was really torn on what video to do today. I actually started recording one, which I've now stopped, which I'm going to plan on doing tomorrow. But I wanted to get this one out first. So tomorrow's video is going to be about getting prepared, things you can do, some really juicy little tips in there regarding professions as well. And I'm not talking profession leveling guides, I mean ways of saving yourself money in TBC now. As I say, I started doing it, and then some of it, what I was talking about, could require hashtag changes. So I thought I'll get your ideas. I want your views. This is all about you. This is not about my thoughts, my opinions. I want you to be so vocal in the comments for this video so we can really start to see what the community want. Because ultimately, in BlizzConline, they said, you know, they're open to changes and the beta and community-driven changes, blah, 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 blah. So they will change not what we want, you know, they're not gonna give us garrisons. I don't know who would want garrisons, but they're not, you know what I mean? There's only so far they will go, I'm sure. But I want to throw some change ideas out there and see what you think as the community. And then you tell me in the comments what changes you'd like to see. Then I'll do a part 2 to this video, compiling all the information that we've got from the comments and, you know, sort of the feedback that I'm getting on the changes that I would propose. And we'll see how we look. So before we get into it, obviously make sure you like, subscribe, and while we're on the subscribing, I want to just say a massive thank you to all of you. Absolutely everybody who's subscribed to the channel. You guys that have been subscribed, you know, since the start, when I was making TBC videos for about 20 of you. You know, I really appreciate your support, and, you know, now BlizzConline's gone out, the subscriber numbers are climbing. It's absolutely amazing, and I honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I genuinely mean it. I'm so grateful. So, you know, I like to give back. So as soon as we hit 10k, which let's make it happen as soon as possible, I'm going to do a giveaway for a mouse. Whoever wins it, it's going to be a proper gaming mouse, no messing about. And I'll let you, as the winner, decide what mouse you want me to buy you, basically. Or if you'd just rather the Amazon voucher, and then you can buy yourself whatever you want. But the only slight stipulation, and it's not a stipulation, but you have to be publicly subscribed. So if you're just subscribed, but your privacy settings are set to private or whatever, you'll have to have a look through and make sure you're publicly subscribed. Because when I export the subscriber list, if your privacy settings are turned on or however it works, yeah, I won't be able to see your name, so you won't be included. So please make sure you do that. And obviously drop the video a like, and please be very vocal in the comments, because this is a very important video to me. And I believe it will probably be a very important video to lots of people. Oh, we'll get the big one out of the way first. Drums. So they've already said they do not want, so they've said in interviews, multiple interviews actually, that they don't want, you know, the whole raid to require level working to bring drums. They didn't say they want to nerf the power of them though. So I'd like to know what change you'd like to see for drums. Now, me personally, I think the power of them shouldn't be reduced. It should still be 5% haste, and it should still be able to be maintained across the raid. That's not because I think it's required or anything like that, but, you know, it would at least keep the benefit the same as it was in TBC originally. You know, so the 5% haste is still obtainable, but maybe just in a slightly different method. So the way I see that like possibly being done is to extend the uptime and extend the cooldown. So let's say they doubled it to 1 minute. So it's a 1 minute drums buff with a 1 minute cooldown. So now, rather than needing 4 people in each group, you only need 2. So that would, you know, half the amount of level workers you need in a raid. And if you think about the classes that you take, you know, let's say you've got 1 resto druid, let's say you've got like 3 shamans, let's say 1 LE, 2 resto. You know, you're going to have a feral druid, you might have a rogue, you know, you'll probably have 2 or 3 hunters. You know, all of those, that's 9. All of those can quite comfortably go level working because they get benefit for it outside of drums. So that's the only reason I think doing it in that way could work, because odds are you can still have enough level workers in the group, or mal wearers, because obviously leather and mal still can fall under level working. You'll have enough in the group to keep the 100% uptime, but not force your cloth wearers or plate wearers to go level working. So that's one way that I can see it working. This change really took me by surprise, as did the Seal of Blood change, you know, obviously giving Alliance Seal of Blood. For me, with the drums change, I think that would be the most sensible way to do it. I'll give you some ideas of what we was discussing on the stream last night. People were saying, what about if, yeah, they didn't require level working. So they was kept exactly the same, but it's a way for level workers now to make good amounts of money, because it's basically now a raid consumable that everybody will buy. I see that. That's pretty good, but then I feel it sort of takes away the identity of level workers, personally. Yes, they can make some gold from it, but I still think they should require level working to use. Another way of doing it was just making it raid wide, which, you know, that would then you only now need 4 in the entire raid to keep 100% uptime. That could also work. So there's lots of ways of doing it. I mean, some people said, you know, add in basically a sated debuff of some description. So no, you can't have 100% uptime. But then for me, that does change. That changes the buff, which I don't think the buff should be changed. I just think the way that it's managed should be changed. Just my opinion. I pre-warn you, these are going to get wackier as we go along. So the next one, which everybody in the comments is saying, and I mean, not everybody, that'd be an exaggeration. Some people say I'm a fat what people have been saying is about dual spec. Now, I'm selfishly very, very much for this, and that's because I'm a druid. You know, as a druid, not having dual spec does suck quite a bit. Especially because I'm actually going resto now. I'm going to be our main resto druid. I'm still going to do loads of feral stuff, obviously, but it's going to cost me keep respecking backwards and forwards every week, which is a bit of a pain. But dual spec, I personally would welcome dual spec. I think it would be a nice gold sink. I think the way I would do it, on the basis we know we're getting progressive, you know, progressive servers, we just carry on with all the gold we've got, everything we've got, you know, which is fantastic for some. I think it would be a good gold sink. Up it to like 5k. 5k for dual spec. So not every man and their dog are going to have it. If you want it, you're going to make the gold. And now that's a massive, massive sort of gold sink to help the economy overall. So I could see that being a good thing. I don't think 1,000 gold is enough. I think upping it to 5k to really start bringing down the massive volumes of gold that we've got on the server would help. And it goes the same with flying. You know, now all of a sudden each character potentially can sink 10k gold out of the economy on their epic flying and their dual spec. So I would accept dual spec. Again, let me know what you think of these points. And this one, I'll be honest with you, this is all me, this one, so you can shoot me down for it. That's fine. This is not anything that's been said on the stream or anything like that. It's just something I've been thinking about recently. We know there's dueling tournaments. You know, people like 1v1ing. They like dueling outside the major cities and everything. You know, there's even been tournaments, dueling tournaments. So what about arenas having 1v1? You know, a really competitive 1v1 system. Now, I appreciate some classes are a lot more, I'm not going to say balanced around 1v1s, but some classes have a lot easier time in a 1v1 situation. I mean, an SL Warlock, for example, you know, they could end up dominating 1v1. I don't know. But then again, a Rogue, if they can lock them down, you know, I wouldn't claim to be a dueling expert in TBC, but I think a competitive 1v1 ladder could actually be quite fun. They actually add something sort of fresh that potentially has been missing. Like I say, dueling is a big thing. So to be able to now have, you know, the option to just queue whenever you want to duel a random person, technically, I think could be cool. But yeah, again, let me know what you think. Now, this one's not exactly TBC related, but could be related to its launch. So they've said about, you know, the classic era realms and stuff like that. I was thinking about if they launched actual hardcore vanilla realms. We know the hardcore scene's quite big. A lot of streamers do the hardcore, you know, challenge where, you know, you can't buy gear, you have to do everything yourself, you know, if you die, you delete, all of that. I think it's really good, something that makes sort of the experience in vanilla quite different and unique. So what about hardcore realms? I don't know. I've not really got a lot else to say on that point. I thought I'd throw it out there because, like, one hardcore realm per region, obviously PvE, a PvE realm per region that's hardcore. So when you do die, you're dead. That's it. It's game over. Maybe the auction house doesn't become active until 60, and you can't mail items to lower levels or something like that. I don't know. You know, I'm not sure how that bit would work. You know, the details would need to be really ironed out by really the community, the real hardcore players who, you know, do these challenges day in, day out. Cargos springs to mind. So, you know, I'm sure there's some stipulations to the way the server works that could be changed, but hardcore vanilla realms, I don't know. I think it could work. We've only got 2 more to get through, and this is when you can start, well, not hating on me, because this is not, you know, these are not all my opinions. You know, these are things that people have mentioned in the stream, asked me what I think about, blah 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 blah. I'm just relaying the information, but this actually is one that I would like to see. So achievements. Now, a lot of people think achievements, I've heard people even refer to achievements as toxic, you know, where they're like, you know, looking for more Karazhan, you know, link achievement and stuff like that. But linking the achievement to prove that you've done it is not really different than having all the Karazhan gear, what they're going to expect for you to get into the group anyway. Or saying, you know, must have XX gear score or whatever, you know, to get in. There's always going to be a stipulation to get you in a raid. If linking an achievement and then you having to actually explain, look, no, I haven't got the achievement, but I've got the gear score, I know the tactics, blah, 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 you know, and hoping they invite you. I must admit, it is quite annoying having to link an achievement for something that, you know, you haven't done, because it's like, well, how do you get the achievement if you haven't already done it? But at the same time, when people are going to be pugging Karazhan, they're going to expect a full group of done 11 of 11 before. So whether you've got the achievement or you've got an item from Nightbane to sort of say, well, look, you can see that I've cleared it, it doesn't really make much of a difference. But if you think about the amount of Classic, like vanilla and TBC achievements there are that you could work on during TBC, I think it would just add a bunch of content to do outside of raids and outside of everything else. So, you know, I'm not saying, oh, I really want achievements, but if they were there, I would probably appreciate the extra content, you know, because it's actually achievements that sort of force me back in the day to PvP, you know, to get all the PvP achievements like the 100 wins and the flag caps and the flag defends and, you know, all those different things in the battlegrounds, which I probably wouldn't bother doing much PvP in TBC if there wasn't achievements. But I think adding the achievement system early, I personally, I would back that as an idea, definitely. Oh no, I almost feel really bad mentioning this next one, but I did promise someone that I would bring it up. But now I'm scared. Yeah, because I've already mentioned some really out there sort of, you know, achievements, hardcore realms, you know, things that no one's going to want, and then you're just going to dislike the video and make me feel really bad. But I'm just going to have to say it. So someone said there's lots of critters in the world. When you're running around, there's lots of critters, you know, little rats or, you know, little worms or different things, little yellow level 1 critters that you can attack. What if you could tame them and then use them to fight other little critters? I just need to say it, don't I? Pet battles. Someone said, what about if pet battles was in TBC? I don't know how I feel about that. And the reason I don't know how I feel about that is because I enjoyed pet battles when they was released. I did really enjoy pet battles. It was something different to do. I don't think I'd want to see it in TBC, if I'm honest. But I don't know why I wouldn't want to see it in TBC. I think it's more taking away... You know, the changes we've spoke about so far for me are not going to change the overall sort of systems of the game. You know, even achievements. Even though achievements didn't come until Wrath, having them there is not really going to change big... It's not... I don't know what I'm trying to say. I would do them. I would do pet battles if they was there, but I would probably be more on the fence of saying no, on the other side of the fence of saying no, we shouldn't add pet battles. But if they did get added, I would do them. And I'm going to throw one more bonus one in. The WoW token. And I'm not even going to give you my opinions on this because I have none. It's very much like the pet battles. If there was WoW tokens available, would I buy them? Probably yes. Because I'm lazy, I don't like farming gold. Would I vote, if there was a vote that went out, would I vote to add them? Categorically no. I would absolutely not vote for WoW tokens to be part of the game, but if they was in the game, I would obviously use them. But what do you think about WoW tokens? Because that is a hot topic, actually, and if they add them, there's going to be a lot of people that are not happy. But let me know what changes you would like to see. As I say, that's the most important thing. I really want to know what changes you'd like to see, if there's any that I've not mentioned. For me, if I was to say the important ones that I'd really like to see, it's the sensible drum change. So, I mean, do not nerf the power, just make it require less level workers in whatever way you so please. And dual spec. They're probably the top two. If I had to throw a third in there, I'd go with achievements. Quick, I'm going to end it. Run. No, I would. I'd put achievements in third. I enjoy achievements. I always have. As I say, it just adds that extra layer of content for me personally. But, as I say, this was probably a short and sweet video, but I do really want to start gathering this information. As I say, this video is with a purpose, I promise you. I will be putting a poll out with exactly the same changes that I've sort of mentioned here to just gauge the community as well on what people want. But tomorrow's video is going to be a lot more focused on actual TBC content, and it's going to be how to get your character ready for TBC. And trust me, there's some spicy bits of information in there that I think you're going to like. But until tomorrow, guys, make sure you like, subscribe. Peace.